What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Dee Hankins Show, where we talk about life, help you with your curveballs, and celebrate your home runs. My name is Dee Hankins. I am your host. If you are here for the first time, welcome. If you're back, welcome back. Right? We are on this roadmap to resilience. The goal of this podcast is to get you to become more resilient. And in order to do that, you need to take absolute responsibility and accountability for your core four, which is taking accountability spiritually, taking accountability financially, taking accountability physically, and taking accountability mentally. And in order to take full accountability and responsibility, you need to adopt the 3-bucket philosophy, which is this: life only falls into 3 buckets: my choices, your choices, natural disasters, acts of God. That's all you're going to get. Those 3 buckets. There's no in between. There's no gray area. It's the choices that you make, the choices that other people make that can affect you, and things that are out of your control, okay? On this roadmap to resilience, we're talking about spirituality, and we are going to talk about the struggles of spirituality. One of the core struggles that people face when it comes to spirituality is not lack of belief. It's actually disconnection and inconsistency between their spiritual values and their daily lives. The biggest struggle being the gap between belief and behavior. Oftentimes, people struggle with their spirituality because it doesn't match up with how they act when things happen, or with what they believe. They don't match up. So there's this feeling of hypocrisy. There's this feeling of guilt when you know better. It's shoulds, right? I should be more patient. I should be doing this. I should be doing better here. And it reminds me of a story. During COVID, hip hop producers Timbaland and Swiss Beats came up with this concept called verses, where mega superstars would go song for song in a competition and they would stream it. It was great. It was a great concept, a lot of great stars. But one in particular verses sticks out to me: Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond. I don't know if, them being gospel artists and COVID and the mixture of things that were going on really moved people deeply in a spiritual way, but their verses was awesome. While I was watching, I noticed the chat. There was someone in the chat, I'm going to just say an artist. There was someone in the chat that was visibly, or I would say verbally, battling between belief and behavior. And so during certain songs, she would enter the chat and she would say things like, I should be doing better. I know the Lord forgives me. I know I'm forgiven. I know I can do better. And then there'd be a pause. Then another song would come on and she would repeat the same things. I could sense that she was struggling. Well, in the chat, people were very encouraging to this person. Hey, it'll be okay. You are loved. You are forgiven, and things like that. But despite the encouragement, she kept repeating these things. Like, she was really struggling. So being nosy, I'm like, dude, who is this person? Maybe I can drop them a personal message. I just felt moved to reach out and say, man, you seem like you're really struggling spiritually. Like, what's happening? So I end up looking at this person, and come to find out, she's a famous porn star. And it hit me. Her profession has gotten her everything that she's wanted. It's gotten her notoriety or fame. It's gotten her money. It's probably paid for her cars, paid for her bills, bought her house. I don't know. But I can tell that during that time, the hypocrisy was smacking her right in the face. She was saying that she grew up in the church. She grew up listening to these guys. She knows she has a spiritual foundation, a spiritual background, but some point in her life, she chose to go down the porn star route, which if you talk to some porn stars, they see nothing wrong with it. Oh, I'm acting and this I'm just an actress. And however, she knew or felt during that time that, dang, what I'm doing is wrong. The problem is I can't stop. And that's the problem for a lot of people when it comes to this gap between behavior and belief, right? I can't stop because the thing that I'm doing that I know goes against my values and my morals is on the surface bringing me what I desire, bringing me certain other things that I desire. Think about it this way. Have you ever had a popsicle or an ice cream and you're eating it and you get this brain freeze and it hurts? I don't know about y'all, but brain freezes hurt. You're like, your head is, you're like, oh my gosh, like you're rubbing your head. You're trying to put your tongue at the roof of your mouth to keep it warm. And you're just like, oh my God, but you keep eating it. Even though you're getting brain freeze after brain freeze, you keep eating this ice cream. Same thing goes for when things are hot. All right, you ever like grab something, it's hot, it's literally burning your mouth. Yeah, it's burn, but you keep eating it. That's the same thing that was going on here. She knew that what she was doing in her heart went against her morals, values, and her spirituality. She was literally taking a sledgehammer of her profession and just continuing to smack her spirituality and break it. Boom, boom, boom. But she couldn't stop because if I stop this, I'm not going to have the money that I have now. I'm not going to have the notoriety that I have now. I'm not going to have the things that I have now. And she just showed me why I put spirituality at the top of the list when it comes to your core four, because you can have money. You can be in the best shape of your life. You can be the smartest person in the world. If your spirituality is broken, you still feel that hole. You don't feel whole. You still feel lost and you still feel disconnected. And we see this all the time with drugs and alcohol and cheating and all of this stuff. It's just like, man, I know I'm doing wrong, but it feels good. Or in the moment, it brings me peace. There are white collar crimes where people fraud. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but man, I haven't gotten caught yet. I had the wedding of my life. I drove the car of my dreams. And I just can't stop doing this. That is the most common struggle between spirituality or the struggle with spirituality is the gap between behavior and belief. So what leads to this constant contention? It's easy to be spiritual when things are good. You ever notice that? You ever notice on a beautiful Sunday morning, it's easy to get up and go to church and be in the moment? It's difficult, however, when it's raining for a lot of people. When it's pouring down and you're looking outside and you're like, ooh, man, I'd rather just be at home, right? It's easy to be in the moment when you're at the gym and you get on every machine that you want during your workout, right? You don't have to wait for anybody. It's easy to be jamming to your favorite song and be in a place of peace. But what about a crowded day where the girl is just lifting weights and she's on her phone for 10 minutes and then she goes back and you really need this machine and the other dude is just chatting with his homies instead of working out? You get frustrated. It takes you out of your peace. Why is this? Why do we have this constant struggle? Why is this the number one struggle? Well, there's a litany of reasons. And the first one that I can attribute to this is the lack of consistency in daily practice. We're in this world right now. It's so easy to be distracted. And oftentimes other things come before your spiritual health. I'm just going to put it out there. Your job, your kids, social media, everything. And I'm so guilty of this. So I have the Bible app and I try to get in this app every single day. Every single day I try to get in it. And the U version of this app gives a streak to keep you going. And man, when you lose that streak, you feel bad. You feel bad. I've had streaks of up to 687 days that I lost because I was just distracted with other things, you know? And of course, it's not about the streak or losing it. But when I do lose a streak, I go, what the heck was I doing that day that I couldn't take 5 minutes out of my day to practice strengthening my spirituality? What was that important? And usually it's nothing. I can look back and say, well, I watched 3 episodes of Wednesday. I played Fortnite. I scrolled through Instagram. I drove my car somewhere. I got gas. I got groceries. I couldn't take out 5 minutes to open up and practice strengthening my spirituality. So what happens is the gap between behavior and belief widens because I'm not practicing every day on closing it. So when things do get hard, it's easy to snap back into the old you, right? A matter of fact, this month, because of certain events, has really shown the gap between belief and behavior for a lot of people that claim to have spirituality. I'm not saying this to dig on religious folks or people who say they're spiritual. I'm not using it to dig on them. I'm using it as an example to say, at the end of the day, we are human. And the thing about it is, the more spirituality you claim, you verbalize, and the less you act out during hard times, really proves that verbally you're spiritually strong, but not internally. Like your spirituality is not that strong. We just want it to be. Okay? You can always tell where somebody is at based on hardships and what happens. And people often struggle with that. Well, my message to you is this: you're still human, and you have to give yourself grace. Spirituality is hard. It's very difficult to do the right thing or stand on your beliefs in a world where, one, there's a lot of distraction, and two, where you're constantly feeling judged, where being good or doing good is looked at as a bad thing. Helping someone is looked at as a bad thing. There was a case where a 4-year-old girl escaped the house or the apartment somewhere and fell down a 4-story building. She made her way out, slipped. I don't know what happened, but she fell down. She fell out of a 4-story window. There was a pedestrian who saw that, and he tried to catch her. She, I believe, hurt herself. She hurt her head or something like that, and later died. The parents of that girl sued this man and won. And they said because he tried to catch her, it disrupted the angle of her fall, and he is the reason why she died. The reason why I bring this up is because nowadays, when stuff like that happens, what do you see? People standing back with their phones out, recording the situation instead of helping. And we in the comments go, why isn't anyone helping? Or like, why isn't anybody helping this person? You're just standing there watching them and recording it. Nobody's jumping in to help them and so on and so forth. And if you get sued for $300,000 that you don't have for trying to help, for trying to jump into action, you might feel some hesitancy to rush in and help someone because the world is judgmental. And that's one one reason why people, or another reason why people feel disconnected. It's hard to find a tribe. It's hard to find people that won't judge you for the things that you have done. And we see this all of the time, man. Social media will prove what I'm talking about to be correct. You can follow someone and then realize that they made a mistake, or maybe they went against what they were teaching other people, and we'll cancel them, we'll throw them under the bus, we'll pour out the full might of wrath on somebody to lessen the guilt that we feel for doing the exact same thing. And it could be on a smaller level, it could be on a grander level. Regardless, we're all susceptible to hypocritical behavior. Don't judge yourself too harshly, and don't judge other people too harshly. Just try to do your best to close the gap. We'll be right back. As you know, my passion is to help people build resilience, and it's a journey I've been on my entire life. That's why I created the Dee Hankins At Best Student Development Program. I started the program because I once was a student facing major curveballs, and I want to show students that they have a chance at a successful future no matter their background. We empower students with a 6-step framework called Win Your Challenges, and we build a network of support between students and parents and caring adults in their lives. If you're a parent, educator, or administrator and want to learn more about how we build bridges and transform school communities, I invite you to visit my website, deehankins.com. That's DeeHankins.com to learn more about how you can bring the At Best program to your school. Welcome back, y'all. We are discussing the gap between, or why there's such a gap between behavior and belief, and certain things that enhance that gap and widen that gap. The last one that I want to touch on, which I think is very common, and I hear this all the time, especially in my speaking career, is the why me, right? The uncertainty. When you step into a spiritual realm where you're trying to better yourself and you're trying to do right, and something happens, oftentimes that is the straw that breaks the camel's back. People often get confused on sickness, death, things that are out of their control. The bucket number 3, the natural disasters, acts of God bucket, I keep saying this on every episode, is probably the most devastating bucket, because everything that happens in this bucket, it's not just for bad people. It's not for good people. It's not just for men or women. Anybody can get it in this bucket. And sometimes it seems unwarranted. So many things can happen in this bucket. And oftentimes I have debates between people who attribute their lack of faith to a certain scenario in this bucket. A kid gets cancer and dies. Well, why would God do something like this? Why would God allow this to happen? There's prominent figures on throughout the world that also question this. Well, God can't be all powerful if this stuff happens, or he can't be all good. And a lot of people bank their spirituality on that. So that's very hard, and I cannot be one to claim to know why these things happen. But I do tell you all, in last episode, I said there's value in everything. And you may be thinking or stuck on this fact that, oh, there's value in your kid getting cancer. Maybe. Depends on how you react to it. Depends on how you take it. How do you respond to this situation? And I even saying that right now, I could just see some people kind of rolling their eyes and and casting out because maybe you've experienced something like this and you have lost all faith. You have lost all spirituality. Everything that you grew up with knowing because of this certain thing that happened is just like, well, why me? And that why me question, a lot of people struggle with. I can't begin to tell everyone that their struggles mean something to them. You have to find the meaning. And so I think about my own story, all right? I think about growing up in, I literally grew up in foster care. Home to home, 12 different foster homes, 2 different group homes. I've been abused in these foster homes. I've been hungry in these foster homes. I've walked 2 miles back and forth from school at 7 years old in the streets of Carson, California. And I think about it like, why would my thought process when I was younger, why would this happen to anybody? I used to eat donuts out of the trash can. Like, why would this stuff happen? Well, because I didn't give up, I see it now. Growing up in foster care allowed me to graduate college. It allowed me to have this platform on speaking in which I have helped hundreds of thousands of people with resilience, all because of foster care, all because I found the value in it and I was able to shape what happened to me in a way where I could utilize it as a tool. Now, would I wish foster care on my kids? No, not at all. Would I wish foster care on anybody's kids? No, not at all. Homeless? No, not at all. Abuse? None of that. I would never wish that on anyone. The fact of the matter is, these things are going to happen. And if you look at, let's take a step back and you look at the broad picture of all of the things that we have now that help people through tragedy is kind of awesome to see, right? I usually bring up the example of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, which has done amazing things, getting the people the help they need, putting people in jail that need to be in jail to rehabilitate. And it all happened because a mom lost her daughter to a drunk driver. Now, she could have easily given up hope and said, why me? But she did something about it. Again, the my choices, your choices, and this is why these buckets are so important. To me, she understood that she did not choose for her daughter to get hit by a drunk driver. This is something that happened in her life. Somebody's bad choices affected her life. She could have easily taken that and given up all hope in her hurt and in her pain. She could have gotten crippled by the why me question. Why me? My daughter was awesome. She was beautiful. She did all these things. Why her? Why did you do this to me? Why? And gotten crippled off of that. And a lot of people do. They get crippled off a loss of a child. They get crippled off a loss of a loved one. And their life starts to fall apart. They carry this hate. They carry this sledgehammer. And this hate starts to rule their life. And it's hard to bounce back from that sometimes. I get it, which is why we're here. And I'm trying to tell you that you don't have to lose everything about you when something bad happens. You can find a way to respond in a way that helps other people. That, I believe, is truly resilient people. It's not seeking revenge. It's not seeking vengeance. It's not losing faith or blaming God or things like that. It's just finding a way to find the value in this horrible, terrible situation. On the other side of that, I'll see people smoke for years, end up getting lung cancer and blame God. I see people drive home drunk, pissed drunk, refusing to give up the keys, and then get in a car accident and their loved ones blame God. Why did this happen to him? I've seen people be gangbangers that carry guns, threaten folks, rob folks, get shot by a rival gang, and then their parents hop at their funeral and say, this was a great kid. He didn't deserve this. And no one deserves their life being taken. But you get what I'm saying is sometimes we mix up our buckets and we make bad choices, have to face the consequences of those choices, and then blame God. We blame the spiritual realm for the choices that we have made, right? Eating terrible, eating junk food, and then having a heart attack at 36, and they blame the spirituality of the situation on an external force without taking full responsibility. And this is why I say, in order to be extremely resilient, you have to take full and absolute responsibility for everything that happens in your life in these core 4 areas. Now, taking responsibility is not saying it's my fault. It's saying, what am I going to do about it now? In any of these buckets, what am I going to do about it now? This is what creates spiritual strength. We'll be right back. What's up, everyone? I'm excited to announce the launch of my brand new podcast, The Dee Hankins Show. But it isn't just about me. I want you to be a part of it too. I'm looking for your stories for 2 brand new segments. First up, Curveball Corner. You have a situation or problem that you're dealing with? Send in your story and I'll give you my best advice. Then we have Home Run Highlights for those moments of pure, undeniable success, like paying off your student loans, landing a new job, or buying a house. So, you ready to be on the show? Head to the link in my bio right now and share your story with me. I can't wait to hear from you. Welcome back, y'all. As we wrap up this episode on spirituality and the common problems, which is the gap between belief and behaviors, and all of the things that attribute to those, I want to leave you all with this. Spiritual resilience is about having a strong foundation so that when things in life happen, you don't lose hope. You don't let go of the reins of your spiritual self, which is the core of who you are. Be authentic. If you believe something, do your best to stand on your beliefs, to stand on business when life is good and when life throws a curveball. Because this is the reality. Life is going to throw a curveball. Whether your behavior doesn't match your beliefs, which is a my choice thing, you can change that. Whether somebody is testing your spiritual health, somebody is testing your spiritual resilience, you can control how you respond to those things. Or whether it's something devastating that's out of your control, you can still respond in a way that creates peace in the midst of chaos. I believe that. No one is perfect. We're going to be hypocritical in our behavior sometimes. The goal is to close the gap between behavior and belief to create a more spiritual, healthy you. And if that gap is widening, figure out why. Is it a disconnection between community? Do you have a tribe? Find your tribe. Are your daily spiritual strength habits prioritized? Right? Or are you stuck in the why me? Whatever it is, get back into the my choices bucket, take full and absolute responsibility for the choices you make in this bucket, and make good choices. Now it's time to move on to my favorite section, Curveball Corner and Home Run Highlights. However, where's my button? Nobody, again, submitted. I want to hear from you. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not going to stop. I want to hear from you. What curveballs are you going through? What good things have happened to you this week, this month? Share it with me. I want to celebrate with you. Please share your story with the show. I love to hear from you. Visit www.dhankins.com/podcast. There'll be a button on there that says submit your story. Submit your story to the show. I want to hear from you. I want to give you some advice. I want to celebrate your home runs. Shout out to anybody having a birthday in September as the month ends. I hope life has been great for you all, and I'll see you guys next episode. Remember, life throws curveballs, but even curveballs